Hey everyone, Alex and Ann here today. We like to provide value with everything that we do. Sometimes Ann thinks that people need to get to know me a little bit better. So let's do this, Ann. What kind of questions do you have for me? Let's shoot.
Okay, Alex, let's get started. So we have here 5 questions that would also I don't know if it's grilling time, but I think this is a tougher one.
Okay.
So let's start with the toughest not question number 1.
Tough is okay.
Yeah, tough is okay. What kind of person you are?
What kind of person am I? Well, I think it depends. It depends who you talk to, right? If you are, talking about business-wise, I like to be big thinking, strategic in what we do. But at the same time, even though I am strategic, I also like to see things through that are in details, right? Now, if you ask my daughter what kind of person I am, she's going to think that, oh, dad's fun, but he can also be very serious at the same time. I think I like to say that I'm more the fun one in the family, only because I might be silly sometimes, as my mom will call it, right? But also at the same time, when it comes down to it, I do mean business. If I say no, that really kind of means no. And there's no second chance on that. But ultimately, I like to explore. I like to try new things. I like to be outdoors. I love being outdoors. You see some of the pictures that I do on stand-up paddle boarding, right? Hiking, different things like that. I love doing that.
Maybe for us also that's really close on you every day. I think you are a person with a lot of things on mind. You're very smart about that. And I think a lot of people also knew about that. What do you think about people would say that you're smart? You're a smart person.
I think that it's not so much the smart. What's smart? What does that really mean, right? I don't really know what that means necessarily when people say you're smart. I think that I come with certain experiences, and the experiences that I have ultimately projects that, wow, he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's also because I've been there. When I share certain experiences with other doctors, other people who are in business, real estate investors, the reason why I share what I share is because I've been through it. And sometimes to tell a story, you have to let people know what you've been through, right? Not just the wins, but then also the losses and hardships that you took to get to where you are. That builds trust, that builds character, that allows people to really know who you are when you sit down one-on-one and have a conversation.
That's right. Okay, so let's go on. So let's have tough question number 2. Try to describe yourself in 3 words, but as an investor, as an entrepreneur, and as a family man.
So let's start with the family, right? 3 words that describe me is, I would say, caring, thoughtful, and hopefully loving, right? As an investor, I would say I am conservative, right? I am very also cautious, especially when people are investing with us, with their money, to make sure that the decisions that you make, it has to be the right decision. Because not only are you investing with my own money, but when I invest other people's money, it's even more so of what we do, right? That's the second word. I'll say the third word, wow, as an investor, forward, maybe future, like future thinking. You always have to think years ahead, 5 to 10 years ahead with everything that we do. As an entrepreneur, strategic is one of them, right? I like to think of myself, I like to be more relentless in what we do. Because when people think of the word relentless, it's not like in a bad way. It should be more like, wow, this person is willing to do what it takes to get to where he really wants to go, right? And I think ultimately, that's what relentless means to me. So I think the third word is persevere. Persevering is really when failure or obstacles comes in your face. How do you keep going to persevere through that obstacle, to not let it stop you, right? People are going to put a wall in front of you all the time, but how do you get through it? That's the key thing. So I would say those are my words.
Those are great words. Those are great words, Alex. Okay, so maybe a lot of people also was just asking, like, are there any website that Alex visit every day that he can't live without? So if you could share like 3 possible websites or blogs you have read throughout your life that you could share to other people, what would that be?
Well, I like to read not just 3, but ultimately books. Jake and Gino in investing and the MIH Mastermind has really changed the way that I think about real estate and what's possible, right? For not just me, but family as well. Another book that's really good is called Traction. So Traction is great for people who are wanting to build a business of their dreams, what to look for, how to build that out. And, ultimately, those are some really good books. I like to follow Grant Cardone and what he's doing, right? Gary V is also great, Gary Vaynerchuk, and looking at the motivational things that they put out. Because what they really stand for is people who are not going to give up on their dreams, And the only way you can fail is if you quit. See, we have obstacles. Obstacles doesn't make us failures. See, obstacles are like roadblocks. They're like hurdles that you have to jump through, So when you are able to jump through those obstacles, and maybe you have to climb through some of them. Maybe some of them you jump over or jump under, right? Might have to swim across some of them. And when you look at human beings, we are the ones that are the most limited to ourselves. In Alaska, there was a story where someone filmed a moose in the middle of the sea. And why is this moose just swimming in the middle of the ocean? He was swimming from one island to the other island because he was relentless about chasing this female moose. This female moose wasn't running. It swam across an ocean. The male moose went after it. Right? And you look at salmon, salmon spawning, how they have to they travel 1,000 miles in the ocean, through the river, swim upstream to spawn, lay eggs, and then they die. Right? That's what salmon does. Animals persevere so much compared to what human beings do because we limit ourselves. We don't even know what the limitations are, right? Except we know that, we fear failure, or we fear that we're not going to make it, or we fear that, what will other people say? We have all these fears. You know what? Forget the fears. Screw the fears. Persevere instead.
I have also a question, Alex. Just want to ask how was your experience with the bears in Alaska?
Yeah. I mean, it's wonderful. It was in the wild. You were out there in the middle of nowhere with them, and you're walking around amongst them, right? To our group, to our core group, virtual assistants. I've shared a lot of videos on there, a lot of pictures. So it was really a special experience. Right.
Okay, yeah. So let's end the continuation. What are your 3 apps or applications that help you organize from day to day?
Oh, my Gmail calendar. There's no doubt about that. Right. Monday.com has been great to help organization. And there's no way we'll be able to do what we do without Google Drive as well and Skype. Let's throw in the fourth one on there. Skype is our main way of communication, and that's what we have to do.
Okay. Last one question about the book, since you're referring about the book. I saw one of your interview, Alex. You were talking about Robert Kiyosaki, and I think
Robert
you're also
Kiyosaki.
fun. Yeah, you're fond of the quadrant cash flow quadrant.
Yes.
Could you share just one phrase or one particular phrase in that book that you wanted also to like share to other people that you really had to ponder?
Yeah, I mean, you got to move from one part of the quadrant to another. You go from employee to solopreneur, right, to business owner to investor. Ultimately, everybody wants to be an investor, and that's what we got to do. So, and I'm glad we got to chat. Thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.